Looking back at the life of Jesus on earth, that Jerusalem was a beehive. His triumphal entry, well, it was kind of like Jesus struck it with a large stick. One could hear the buzz of anger within, and it was really just starting to get organized. And why, might you ask? His coming arrival was this huge declaration about his authority over all the conventions of mankind, including in what was going on with the religious leaders of this time. So we continue this week to look at our journey to the cross and beyond. And today we're looking at Monday, where Jesus returns for more and returns for more to hit that beehive with a stick. And more what? More visits to aggravate and convict the leadership at the temple. This time to declare the failure of God's people to live up to their covenant mandate that they should be more of a blessing to the world. All the Gospels cover this specific Monday, by the way. And when he entered on the theme of his authority, everything he did, by the way, was with authority, both over the created world and his right to judge it. So when he wakes up his disciples that early Monday morning, informing them that he has to go back into Jerusalem to teach, to them it sounded very risky. Just as risky as it sounded, they really weren't all that surprised. Everyone seemed to know something was stirring. They sensed it. And as Jesus rounds this corner at the end, it just seemed to be coming up way too fast. They had perceived that Jesus was a marked man. And when Jesus entered the temple area on Monday, he grabbed some cords lying about and he fashioned them into a whip. And he began to be driving out animals and everyone who was buying and selling there. Luke records it like this. And then he went into the temple and began to drive out those who bought and sold in it, saying to them, "It is written, my house is a house of prayer, but you have made it a den of thieves." And he was teaching daily in the temple, but the chief priests, the scribes, and the leaders of the people sought to destroy him and were unable to do anything, for all the people were very attentive to him. So tell me, what had stoked the fires of his divine wrath and his anger? We know that Scripture says this, that the love of money is the root of all evil. Jesus knew that too. Jesus became angry because religious hucksters were using God to make extra money. You see, people were traveling in Jerusalem for the Passover from all over the world. They needed to buy animals for their sacrifices, and they would offer these to God during that festival. Most of these people also had to exchange their money for temple currency in order to buy these animals. The trouble, though, was these money changers and sellers were often dishonest, and those temple officials were found that day and doing that very thing and taking advantage of these travelers. Like me, have you ever had somebody or met somebody who was turned off by church? If I've heard it once, I've heard it 1,000 times, that this is the reason people quit going, because the church didn't care for them very much. And why? Because they just wanted my money. And I don't know if that was true or just an excuse, but I know that many people have been turned off because they've been fleeced by some unscrupulous person who claimed to be a believer. I am here to tell you that if they were angry when that happened, so was Jesus. Jesus gets angry. So in 2021, what needs to be cleansed in our lives? Is it the love of money? Is it the desire to exploit people for our own personal purpose or gain? Are we trying to gain some position of worldly power? When I worked in youth for nearly 30 years, I mentored many people, including youth and leaders. And one thing that would get me irritated was adults who wanted to be the center of attention, or others who wanted to have power and some sort of trip over them. That is not the purpose with youth, and it's not the purpose of ministry to anyone of any age. We need to be asking God to cleanse us of what is offensive in me. Right before Jesus entered Jerusalem, he was on that back of that small donkey. He had dinner with Zacchaeus over in Jericho. Zacchaeus, Luke records, was a very wealthy man, and after being with Jesus for mere moments, saw the error of his way and his corruption as a tax collector. We are all to be servants first, to love our neighbors as ourselves, to provide for folks for what they really need. And even that includes our enemies. Today, let's not be found in the den of enemies, but instead let's be in a house of prayer, as well as a place where people can come and where they can get their needs met, no matter how simple or how dire they might be. I know that will please Jesus, and that your local assembly will be what it should be, a house of prayer and not a den of thieves. I'll see you next week, and we'll look at Tuesday, where we find Jesus once again at the temple, confronting and having a showdown with leadership. Thanks for listening. God bless you.